yes, I'm a bit late to the party with this one, but I've had messages from people wishing me to suffer this wanker. Now, for the record, I haven't actually seen the whole thing in full, so I'm reacting largely on the fly here. Bits and bobs here and there. I know the backstory behind this, the footballer who said traditionalist things, and then this one went viral. And so about the power of pattern recognition, as well as noticing the enormously large volume of comments and videos made about her being obnoxious, I'm going to assume she decided to capitalize on the situation by being an attention seeker and inserting herself, only to become a mouthing cliche that will say nothing thought-provoking whatsoever.
Hey Harrison, you know, we have several things in common. First and foremost, until a few months ago,
within less than 10 seconds, that face and that attitude. Ah, yes, the spirit of Mike Tyson and Sean Connery is flowing through my veins.
we were both employed by the Kansas City Chiefs. I cheered you on for 6 years straight.
And you have the eyes of one who hasn't slept a day since then.
And with that, I would assume we went to the same PR training. But since all of that obviously left your fucking brain when you went to go give that speech, I thought I'd be a good coworker. Share my notes. Let's get started.
Before we even do, let me just say this. If you think this little stunt is going to court anyone over to your side and not simply act like a bullhorn for your camp of harpies as you parade around like the most obnoxious ovarian mammal of 2024, it would explain why the main thing you sell is your body. Less than 30 seconds in and I can already see why she caught the flag. Can also see why she's a cheerleader and not a spokesman. Apparently you need balls to have manners these days.
These are fucking vague.
Woman, your language is deplorable. Are we sure she's talking about the glasses, by the way?
Biggest takeaway is you now represent $1 billion organization. You are no longer just Harrison Butker. You are now Harrison Butker, who plays for the Kansas City Chiefs. And anything you say or do that doesn't align with that brand, scissoring just like the lesbians you hated in that video,
I'm gonna bust this bitch head as soon as we get outside.
will be grounds for termination.
Because that's a face you should take seriously, and not one that belongs in a padded cell, in an insane asylum, with a straitjacket. By the way, on a side note, am I the only one that thinks that concept of representation as you join a publicly visible brand is one of the dumbest things imaginable? It's so bizarre what you join and now suddenly you become a company man and therefore you shed all opinions and sense of individuality. That's a bit culty for my liking. Like, how dare you express Christian views in a country funded by Christians? You will lose sponsors. The irony, given that it says, "In God we trust," on the American dollar. I remember in Australia several years ago, there was a rugby player, Israel Folau, star fullback by the way. He caught flack because he said hell awaits gay people on social media. First off, gay people don't even believe in hell, so who the hell cares? Very funny. Very strange to take umbrage from a statement based on a belief you yourself have no faith in. Not exactly like people give a damn in the first place, and he was dropped from the Wallabies for that. Who are you going to replace him with? Curly Beale? And mind you, Curly was caught in a cocaine scandal, allegedly. And he still managed to play for the Wallabies after that. So apparently you can't express a religious opinion on social media, that's taboo. But you can apparently do cocaine, that's totally fine. Family-friendly messaging, that is.
Not entirely sure if that last part is gonna apply to you, but I guess we'll find out.
Wait. He's not gonna get terminated. Why the hell are you doing this video? And what is the point of your spiel about PR training then? Even by your own standards here, he's above that. It's almost like he's more valuable than you.
Quick minute to dissect some of the language in your speech, referring to abortion, IVF, euthanasia, and surrogacy as degenerate culture values.
Based, well done.
Do you see how that maybe doesn't align with the brand?
Not really, no. Considering his jersey sales in this video, I think his message simply doesn't align with your particular brand of progressive bollocking.
COVID fiasco. Now, I would assume you know what fiasco means, but just in case you don't, you're referring to the pandemic as a humiliating failure.
It was, he's correct.
You know, we had an entire fucking PR training on COVID, bro. We weren't supposed to talk about it. You referred to gay people as deadly sinners.
Based.
The gays love football.
And I can guarantee you the gays don't give a damn about what he says and would rather he keep his job if he keeps winning than sit through listening to you.
We don't want to lose them as an audience, so you might want to reconsider.
My good lord, the delusions of grandeur, the arrogant entitlement, the condescending attitude. This right here is why there are so many men, increasingly so, who simply want women to shut the hell up. Let's analyze this rationally, shall we? Forget about her, because in the grand scheme of things, she doesn't really matter at all. And neither does what she says. It's typical regime slop, nothing memorable. If you say or do something uniquely memorable of quality, people will remember you. If you say stupid things in an obnoxious manner, the only thing people will remember you for is the obnoxious stupidity. Case in point, she'll be remembered for the obnoxious attitude and the crazy eyes. I don't know her name, nor do I care to. Is this calling anyone over? No, of course not. No sane person would want to be anywhere near someone with their head this far up their own arse. It's simply not appealing. Which begs the question, what is the purpose of this? Simple. She craves attention and so simps for the regime. That's it. It's a stunt, nothing more.
Calling them deadly sinners.
Pace, I can see why his jersey is selling well.
Life begins when you become a wife and mother. Skip ahead. That leans into her most important title of all, homemaker.
Yes, the same way a man's one begins as a father and a provider. That's kind of how society keeps on going, you know. Or maybe you don't. Do you need a biology lesson as well, do you? Actually, your first lesson will be how to approach a man without him reflexively reaching for chef's pleasure bag.
You know, we're not going to unpack this from a PR standpoint, but...
Agreed, and I do think the fact that the Chiefs hired you speaks rather poorly of their hiring practices. Or maybe they really did well to employ someone like you where they can make use of you being seen and not heard.
I do want to let you know that the Kansas City Chiefs offer a therapist covered at 100%, both male and female.
I get the impression the reason you know that is because you've made extensive use of that service.
And I advise that you probably need to unpack that with both professionals.
For going by religious values that have existed for centuries, they need to see a therapist? See, that's the kind of stuff that makes people think women are stupid as hell, you know.
You called the president delusional?
I mean, that's the most obvious observation stated so far. Anyone who disagrees with that is either paid, blind, or mentally debilitated. Possibly all three.
You know, I think the organization would let that one go. A lot of Republicans in Chiefs Kingdom.
A lot of Republicans in Chiefs Kingdom, and the Republicans are gonna be against the guy who espouses traditional values. Why? You just derailed the premise of your entire argument, you daft git.
The best part of your speech, when you said stay in your lane 10 plus times.
There's a reason why he said it 10 times. Repetition is the mother of learning, and the fact that you're annoyed by it kinda proves his point.
Bruh, take your own advice. Kick some balls around, stay in your fucking lane.
The use of words expressing something other than their literal intention. Now that is irony.
You're a former cheerleader giving a former coworker PR advice. You're literally not staying in your lane by making this damn video. Oh, but she's not done. She decided to make yet another clip.
I put on a blazer and my finest jewelry in case any of the national news wants to use this and air it without my consent.
Shut up!
Oh, piss off, you narcissistic wench. You love that it went on the news. The whole point of you uploading something to the internet is for it to be seen, and now you're whining about unauthorized viewership.
My video dressing my favorite former coworker, Harrison Butker, has popped off.
And right after moaning about it being aired on the news, which undoubtedly helped its reach, and now you're craving yet another fix of that drug called attention.
And I'm about it, because now I am a voice for the people that he attacked.
People made you their spokesperson? Dear God, those people deserve to get a refund.
And since the mainstream media is going to use whatever content they want, I thought I might as well dress up and give them a formal speech.
It's not the content of the speech. The person delivering it is more concerned with being seen than heard. If I'm going to be the armchair psychologist over here, I would say it's so she can convince herself that she can still get attention for something other than her looks. Shame is not positive attention.
It has never been about whether or not a woman should stay home with her family.
Actually, it is. The main people who denigrate womanhood is other women. We're men, we're smarter than you, we notice patterns more often than you do, love. And we notice the main people who make a woman's life hell is other women, said the Bundy quote.
If that is the best decision for her, do you. If you want to have a career, do you. If you want to do both, pop off, do you.
Oh yes, I am woman, hear me roar, yes, Queen Slick.
My issue lies when entitled men in positions of privilege.
Ah, yes. No political sloganeering campaign would be complete without a white woman using the word privilege.
Such as Harrison Butker, uses a graduation speech to put a woman in her place.
No, progressive women. Traditionalist women already know their place, which is why they are happier and they don't have the crazy eyes.
Instead of congratulating her on her accomplishments. Are you shocked at some of his public supporters?
You mean the people that watch the NFL? You did say in the previous video it's Republican country, so no, I'm not that shocked actually.
I was not. Because something these people all have in common
Is being traditional men who like sports?
privilege.
Oh, do tell, I'm sure this will make a whole lot of sense.
The harsh reality is that majority of Americans cannot support their family on a single income.
Because you sold your soul to industrialists to become discount men. Oh, there I go again with my horrible facts about history.
Those little bundles of joys are expensive. So telling a bunch of women that that's when their life begins?
You know, I can't help but notice, you ladies who claim you're equal to men, you can't help but lose your frickin' mind whenever a man speaks about things that irk you. See, when you give your opinions on us, we can rationally analyze you and deduce you're kind of nuts. When we do that to you, my good lord, it's like a third world war has been declared. It's pretty funny, actually.
Well, I guess it depends if they're privileged or not.
I mean, in the old days, families had more kids with far less wealth than today. I wonder why that is.
Baffles me that people think that social media has warped this speech into something it's not.
No, the speech is probably fine, but seeing women like you freak the hell out over it really does speak volumes about progressive women.
If you think that, you should go watch the 20-minute long speech, and I promise you, you're going to be sweeping your jaw off the floor by the end.
Honey, if I spoke with you for more than 20 minutes about my views, I would need rope, a bishop, and some holy water. I'd recreate the last scene of The Exorcist, except I'm not the one going through the window.
Why are none of his supporters talking about the part of the speech where he condemns a woman's right to her access to healthcare?
Oh, shut up. Women's healthcare is nothing but regime doublespeak for nuke-all the zygotes.
Such as abortion, IVF, surrogacy, and birth control.
Or as us men prefer to call it, the many fail-safes for them who can't keep their legs closed.
Or the part where he called gay people deadly sinners.
That was based in the previous video, it's still based now.
And mocked their Pride Month. That's low.
You all realize it's literally just her going over the progressive box ticking she missed in the first video. Have you noticed that?
Other thing we have in common, Harrison, is we are both Catholics.
You're about as Catholic as I am the Pope.
And I want everyone to know that our God preaches love and not hate.
Your God is the state. See, you are what we would call false.
Many people are asking if there's going to be any consequences for Harrison Butker. And I can tell you now, the answer is no.
Again, then what the hell was the purpose of you making these videos? Do you think he's the only man who feels this way? Really? No. Let's be real. You are nothing more than an irrelevant cheerleader who is now too old. You're miserable as all hell and you sort of niche for attention the same way any smaller content creator does, by going after someone bigger and much better than you. No more, no less. Let's be real. What you had to say was nothing original, nothing interesting, or anything thought-provoking in any way whatsoever. The most memorable thing about you is you have presented the most unlikable face of a woman, the attitude of an entitled teenager. You are the poster child for why men want nothing to do with women in the modern day. You're a flash in the pan. Your 50 minutes of fame are now over. Now get lost. Cheers for watching, and once again, I apologize for nothing.